We had another successful captain pick again last game week with Captain Salah, who outscored Palmer and Son, and he didn't get outscored by Haaland either. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss any future captain picks. If you look at the fixtures for Gameweek 33, it looks like Haaland's a dead cert to be captain against Luton at home, but the problem is that fixture is sandwiched between two Champions League matches against Real Madrid. They're very important quarter-finals, and don't forget a couple of game weeks ago, Haaland got rested in the Premier League. Salah's minutes are much more certain against Palace at home. The problem is, Luton is a much easier fixture, and Toney offers a combination of minutes and a very easy fixture against Sheffield United at home. The problem with that is that his output and his underlying stats are nowhere near as good as Haaland and Salah's this season. Salah's performed better on both metrics, but he is a midfielder, so he does get the extra point for every goal scored and the extra point for every XG in the calculations as well. But it's important that we do factor that in from an FPL perspective. They're the non-penalty stat, and all three players are on penalty duties for their respective clubs. Toney's got a slight advantage when it comes to free kicks. He's the main man on direct free kicks for Brentford. Haaland and Salah rarely take them. When it comes to the probability, we need to consider the fact that these odds are based on the assumption that each player plays 90 minutes, and we'll assess the expected minutes later on in the video. It's no surprise that if Haaland was to play the full match against Luton at the Etihad, he would have the highest anytime goal scorer odds. However, it would still be Salah who's got the highest anytime assist odds against Palace at Anfield. Nevertheless, if you combine both together, Haaland's got the highest chance of success by 10%, he's only got a 19% chance of blanking, of course that's if he plays the full match, and even if you factor in Salah getting an extra point for every goal scored, Haaland's odds are weighted more towards goals, and that 10% advantage is quite significant. Therefore, Haaland's got the best weighted odds as well this game week. He's also got the highest overall points projection on Fantasy Football Fix with 8. However, on FPL Review, Salah matches him. That's because he expects his minutes to be much lower. Although Salah's got higher expected minutes, it's clear to see that he's got the most difficult fixture on the shortlist this game week. That's whilst Haaland and Toney get to face the two worst defences in the whole league. Well, should I say City and Toney, because Haaland might not even play. At least he does get 4 days of recovery ahead of this fixture. He played 90 minutes against Real Madrid, and the next match is another 4 days after that. The problem is, City will have to anticipate the fact it could go to extra time. With him being rested a couple of game weeks ago, you could look at it from either perspective. You could look at it that he's already had a rest ahead of the busy schedule, so he might not need another. It has been rare for him to have a rest in the past, and with City going for the league, they might not risk it with Luton fighting to stay up. At this current point in time, in my opinion, I think he will start, but I think City will try and kill the game off and sub him off as early as possible. Obviously that's not certain, don't take my word for it. There is a chance that he might not even start and might not even get subbed on at all. It looks like FPL Review agree with my prediction, with 78 expected minutes. They're not too bad. As for Salah, whilst this video has been recorded, Liverpool haven't yet featured in the Europa League. I'm not sure how many minutes he'll play in that one. Even if he plays 90 minutes, he's had just under 3 days worth of recovery. I think his minutes will still be fine for this fixture. And Toney's had a week's worth of rest. He did only feature for 9 minutes in the last fixture, so he's got fresh legs. There's no denying that the expected minutes of those two players are pretty safe whilst this video is being recorded. Now the question is, do we play it safe or do we take the risk? Now if we get leaked team news that Haaland's starting, I will definitely go ahead and captain him. The problem is, if we don't get any elite team news, we are in the dark. There is a chance that Haaland doesn't start and get subbed on. It would be a very high chance of a captaincy blank, and that's while Salah and Toney probably get to play the full match, so you could say that those two players have a higher floor, but I'd also say that Haaland's got a higher ceiling, and for me, I think it's worth taking the risk. Haaland is going to be my captain this game week. But if we get leaked team news that Haaland doesn't start, I'll be flipping the captain's armband to Salah. Make sure you subscribe if you found this video informative so you don't miss any future captain picks.